impermanence. If you enter a room at 10:05 a.m., you're not going to be the same person by the time you leave at 10:20. Why is that? Your body cells and molecules are changing, your thoughts are changing, your moods are changing, your sitting position is changing. The first law of nature, everything is constantly changing. If you try to live against that law, then you suffer. Every time we break natural law, we suffer. And the Buddha recommends that you don't take these truths as philosophies. In other words, if you listen to this talk and say, well, that was a lovely talk, and I'm glad the Buddha said this, that will just be theory. The Buddha was a very practical man. He said, listen to one of these truths and then come see for yourself. In other words, he said, because everything's changing from moment to moment, then don't try to hang on to this moment. If you try to hang on to a vacation so it won't end, you will suffer. If you're sitting at the dinner table with your lover or partner or little child, and you try to hang on to that moment, you will suffer. If somebody will say, Kambis, I love my little girl so much. I don't want her to grow up. She's looking so cute. Or somebody who is 70 years old will say, Kambis, don't say anything about impermanence because I've spent the last 50 years of my life with this woman or man. And if she goes away, there'll be nothing left of me. But look at what happens. As you hold on, as you grab, then you start to suffer because then you worry. What will happen if my child grows up? What will happen if my 70-year-old husband passes away? What's the alternative? The alternative is you're sitting at the dinner table and you notice the smile of the one you love. You notice how cute your daughter is becoming. And what that does, it brings you to the moment. When you're at the moment at the dinner table, you are appreciating your food, you are appreciating your little girl, you are appreciating your lifelong partner. As you start to appreciate, you're going to gather gratefulness. Appreciation and gratefulness bring happiness, not distress. Therefore, I recommend this upcoming week, implement impermanence. In other words, you're walking in your office and you have a thought, just say, this too shall pass. Or if you're sitting with your lover at the dinner table, say, this moment will never come back again. Don't say it in a sad way. Use that to increase your gratefulness and sense of appreciation so you become happier. Another thought for you, if you implement this too shall pass, if you implement the idea of impermanence in your life, then you allow life to continue. Think about this. A little baby is born, and then the baby grows to be a little daughter, and then she becomes a lady, and then maybe one day she'll have her own baby and grandbaby. So we're talking about the continuation of life. If impermanence was not there, then your daughter could never grow to be a grandmother one day. Life must continue. And then think about the very building block of nature. The building block of nature is the atom. Inside the atom, everything's vibrating, pulsing, and changing. So if the building block of our life on Earth is the atom, then the atom itself is constantly changing forms and shapes. This coming week, whenever you have a thought, you say, this too shall pass. Whenever you hug your romantic partner, say, this too shall pass. But don't say it in a sad way. When you say, this moment is unique and passing, you will feel the embrace of your loved ones. Or if you're having some great Chinese food, say, this meal will never come about again. You really start to taste that Chinese food. The second concept, the second truth that the Buddha taught was oneness. He called it non-self. Imagine this. You think that you are a first name, you're a last name, that you have a body, that you have a passport number, and all of these things tell you that you are one person, one entity. But you're not that at all. In other words, the pulsing motion of your heart is just energy. Every time you think, your brain is giving off electrical signals. Every time you breathe, you're breathing in the same air that everybody else is breathing. In other words, you're made of passing energy. It's true that you have flesh and bones, but your heart is giving off electrical signals. Your brain is giving off electrical signals. If you hold your finger to the palm of your hand, you're going to feel heat. That heat is energy, is invisible energy. Some people get mad at their family and they'll say, Kambis, I'm leaving my hometown. I'm going to leave this family. I'm going to forget all about them and I'll never come back. But guess what? You're not you. Your body is made of DNA that your grandfather gave you. Your accent, the way you speak English, and your culture is coming from the town, from the village where you were born. So what I'm saying is, as much as you try to become one individual person who's very independent, that cannot be. All of us are interrelated. All of us are breathing the same air. All of us are made of energy. Besides, when you die, if you go under the soil, you're going to turn into some good fertilizer. You're going to feed the apple tree. Somebody's going to eat you as the apple, or the leaves of the apple tree are going to breathe up into the air, and then you become a cloud. And once you become a cloud, you're going to give yourself to some rain, and then you're going to rain down on a tree, for example. Yeah, let me see if I can mute everybody here. Give me one moment. Yeah, so imagine that even when you pass away, you become a tree, and then the tree breathes, and then it becomes the clouds. And then you become a cloud and give yourself to rain. Imagine today that you are writing your memoirs, your personal memoirs, on a piece of paper. And then at one point when you're writing your memoirs, you ask that piece of paper, you ask the paper, what are your memories? And the paper will say, oh, I used to be a tree. And the paper says to you, also talk to the tree about its memories. And the tree will say, oh, I used to be rain and sunshine. Think about this. There is no individual I. Even the paper that you're writing on used to be a tree, used to be sunshine, used to be rain. Why am I saying this? The Buddha says, if you hang on to this concept of my first name, my last name, the city where I was born, my unique self, you will suffer because you're made of rain. You're made of sunshine. As we meditate today, every time you exhale, imagine that you're becoming the soil, you're becoming the tree, and then you're breathing into the clouds, and the cloud is becoming rain. And then you'll be a lot happier. And also, as you meditate today, say to yourself, this meditation will never happen again. This is one passing moment. If you do this meditation as if this meditation will never happen again, if you meditate as if each passing moment is the last passing moment, that'll be your best meditation ever, because you will completely merge with the present moment. And that's what meditation is. By the way, what I said about you being the DNA of your grandparents and the culture of your village or city, on a different level, I will say to you that you will not be happy until you develop your unique voice, until you individuate from the programming of the previous generation. These are two separate thoughts at two separate depths. You need your unique voice, you need to individuate, but you're the same as the tree, the rain, and the cloud. If you don't understand that, you're going to suffer. The Palestinian and the Israeli are breathing the same air. Without that, we suffer. At the same time, you need your unique voice. Okay, let's get ready for our meditation, and I will see you next week.